Alright, so a couple weeks ago I posted a video about a Partscaster guitar that I built, and some of you seem to really enjoy that video, so I thought today I'd show you something else that I built that's really cool. This is a guitar amplifier, and it's one that I put together myself. Today we're talking about hand-wired amps. Can't tell already, I'm a bit of a tinkerer. I love to mod stuff. I love to experiment and do different things with my guitars. I've even built my own custom overdrive pedals over the years, like this one. Basically, I just really like to make stuff, especially if it has to do with guitar. And back during the COVID shutdown, I was looking for something new to tinker with to keep myself from going stir crazy. And I already knew my way around a soldering iron just from building pedals and doing various mods on my guitars over the years, so I thought, you know, maybe it's time to graduate to something a little more involved. So I got online and started looking around at various kits that were available at the time, and I found this one. This amp is a kit build from a company out of Canada called Trinity Amps. For a fraction of the cost of a boutique hand-wired amp, you can buy a kit like this where you get the cabinet, the components, the wire, the transformers, and you do the hand wiring yourself. This is Trinity's TC15 model, which is a dual EL84 15-watt amplifier. And I got to reading about the amp and realized that it's basically a 15-watt version of a Matchless DC30. So you've got a top boost circuit on one side of the amp and then an EF86 circuit on the other side, which is controlled by just a single pintoed tone knob. And I was sold immediately. I had always wanted a Matchless amp, but anyone who knows anything about Matchless knows that they're kind of pricey, and for good reason in my opinion. I was really inspired by the craftsmanship and just overall mojo of Matchless amps, and you can see that I applied that inspiration to the look of the amp. I ordered this cabinet directly from Trinity, but I did have to do some of my own mods to make this Matchless style faceplate and get it to work. I basically took a piece of acrylic and laser engraved it with my name, and then I had to cut a perfect hole in the cabinet behind this so that when you flip the amp on, it's illuminated from the back, just like a Matchless. And the light source itself behind the faceplate is basically a series of automotive light bulbs that I got from AutoZone, which I'll show you in a moment when we look at the chassis. But before we do that, let's listen to some of the sounds this thing can make. So this is what the internals of the amp look like. This is the chassis here, and this is where the bulk of the work happens when you build a hand-wired amp. It can be really meticulous work. It's the kind of thing you want to take your time on because unlike a guitar pedal where you're only dealing with 9 volts or so, there are actually lethal voltages at play here. So you really want to be careful and just take your time. The filter caps here do hold a charge even when the amp's not plugged into a power source. So you do have to have safety in mind if you're going to do this. So this is the turret board here. This is where the topology of the circuit basically lives. The transformers are right here. Here you can see the tube sockets, and up underneath here you can see I've mounted 3 automotive light bulbs, which are what illuminate the faceplate like I was telling you about earlier. When I built this, like I said, it was during COVID, and I basically had a workbench set up in my basement, and I would go down for like an hour at a time, maybe 1 hour a night, and just solder a little bit here and there. And after about a month of work, I was able to finally finish it and fire it up, and hearing it for the first time was like magic. Now, I'm not someone who believes that PCB amplifiers are inherently inferior or that soldering components on a turret board automatically gives you better tone. I'm not sure it makes a sonic difference at all, really. But what I will say is that after I built this, I immediately understood why hand-wired amps are so sought after and so expensive. It takes a lot of time and a lot of work, and there's a lot of opportunities for errors. The guys who do this, like Dr. Z and Matchless and Morgan and a whole host of others, are artisans and craftsmen, and doing this gave me a whole new respect for amp builders. I just think there's something special about the alchemy of early to mid 20th century technology that's happening here that's just really hard not to be romantic about. So if you're a guitar player and you've ever considered building a kit amp, even a simpler one like a Champ or a Tweed Deluxe, I would definitely recommend it. I think it'll give you a whole new appreciation for the electric guitar. Well, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please click the like button. And if you're not subscribed, I'd love for you to join us and help me build this channel and this community. And there'll be more content like this to come. And until next time, keep on picking.